Roma avevo Cesare, Virgilio ed Augusto.
Why was Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, held in custody by King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy? How did Otto Skorzeny become Adolf Hitler's favorite commando? Why was Otto Skorzeny called the most dangerous man in Europe by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill? How did Skorzeny's commandos pull off one of the greatest single rescue missions of World War II? And how did the Gran Sasso raid change the complexion of special operations missions for all time?
Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former soldier, Marine Corps scout sniper, history professor, historian and book author, and we will answer these questions and other issues on this segment of Forgotten History.
In July 1943, Adolf Hitler issued an order that would shake the foundations of the Allied intelligence and military communities. On 25 July 1943, the Italian National Police captured Mussolini and placed him in Gran Sasso d'Italia. These carabinieri were acting under orders from the Italian King Victor Emmanuel III. King Victor Emmanuel was anxious to break ties with Germany and gain an armistice. Disinformation masked Benito Mussolini's disposition. He was moved around quite a bit. Germany scrambled to reinforce Italy after the Allied invasion at Salerno on 3 September 1943. Mussolini had fallen into serious disfavor with the Italian people, most of whom hated the war, and did not feel that they had any obligation to fight with Germany. This sentiment was also shared throughout the Italian military, since 1 in 12 Italians either had a friend or a relative or knew someone who did have a relative living in the United States. The Italians felt that they had a cultural bond with Americans. Allied air superiority complicated the secret rescue mission. Mussolini was positively located on the Gran Sasso days before the Italian king announced an armistice. On 26 July 1943, Hitler called Skorzeny into a meeting, as quoted from Skorzeny's post-war interview. Adolf Hitler outlined in a few precise words his train of ideas. The thought of his, Mussolini's, imprisonment was unbearable, and he, Hitler, regarded his rescue as an absolute duty as his friend. He placed me under the command of Generaloberst, or Colonel General, Kurt Student. Details I was to discuss with Student. With these instructions, I was discharged." End quote. Skorzeny ordered his executive officer, Major Karl Radl, to select 50 of his Jagdverband 502 commandos for the mission. Radl chose 10 officers and 40 enlisted men, some being former Brandenburg commandos, the best Germany had, all combat veterans, both Luftwaffe and Waffen-SS parachutists, and all with a variety in proficiencies in speaking Italian. He had them assemble at the Tempelhof airport, prepared to take off. Meanwhile, on 27 July, Otto Skorzeny and Student flew to Rome and met with Field Marshal Albert Kesselring. According to Skorzeny's own post-war interrogation, quote, "No one had the faintest idea that Generaloberst Student and I were entrusted with locating the whereabouts of the Duce and with effecting his rescue." End quote. On 29 July, Major Radl's commando force and elements of the Luftwaffe 11th Air Corps established a base camp close to Rome's Pratica di Mare airport. Mussolini was confined there in the Hotel Campo Imperatore. Gran Sasso d'Italia is a massif in the Apennine Mountains of Italy. Its highest peak, Corno Grande, or about 2,000 feet high, is the highest mountain in the Apennines, and the second highest mountain in Italy outside the Alps. On 8 September, Skorzeny and Radl conducted an aerial reconnaissance of the Gran Sasso. At the same time, the Italians signed the armistice and isolated the Germans in Rome. Undeterred, Skorzeny continued to search for Mussolini. This included a cover story whereby military doctors would visit Gran Sasso to determine its suitability as a malaria clinic. On 10 to 11 September, Skorzeny refined the rescue plan to use 12 DFS 230 gliders. They would assault Gran Sasso by air and be supported by Major Otto Harold Morse and his parachute battalion, whose vehicle convoy would secure the lower end of the funicular railway between the village and Gran Sasso proper. On 12 September, the mission was launched, and the glider towed to altitude and then released. Skorzeny and Rydell fully expected to be greeted by ground fire, either as their gliders approached or as soon as they landed, as they had every reason to believe that Mussolini would be heavily guarded. And he was. The gliders banked into the glide slope to land on the mountaintop, and the timing had to be perfect. The gliders all landed without incident, and the commandos poured out. 4 minutes after landing, Skorzeny bluffed the 200-man Italian Guard force into surrendering, and his team secured Mussolini. Skorzeny described the event. Not a rifle was lifted against us. I reported to him, Mussolini, with the words, "Duce, the Führer has sent me as a token of his loyal friendship." Then the Italian carabinieri joined in the photo shoot, perhaps happy that the Germans did not open fire on them. Lack of radio contact with Rome removed the planned aircraft extraction of Mussolini from the L'Aquila airfield. The last option was for Captain Gerlach to land his Fieseler 156C3 Storch next to the hotel, pick up Skorzeny and Mussolini, take off, and land at Rome's Pratica de Mare airport 30 minutes later. After Skorzeny and Mussolini landed, they transferred to a Heinkel HE-111 medium bomber and then flew on to Vienna, Austria. Upon arrival, once Hitler spoke to Mussolini on the phone, a colonel was instructed to present Skorzeny with the Knight's Cross for the rescue. The following day, they continued their visit to Rastenburg, East Prussia, where Hitler had his eastern headquarters. Hitler greeted both men and asked Skorzeny about the mission. After Skorzeny finished, Hitler promoted him to SS Sturmbannführer, or Major, on the spot. 2 days later, Skorzeny was allowed to collect his men still in Italy, and they were given authorized use of motor vehicles to drive into Tyrol, Austria. Each man was given a month's leave as a reward. The Gran Sasso raid proved that a highly motivated leader, with courage and conviction, supported by well-trained and seasoned men, could perform even the most improbable operation. Skorzeny was later given even more missions as Hitler's faith and belief in him grew. Otto Skorzeny would later be entrusted with other missions of great consequence and daring, such as being sent to kidnap Josip Broz Tito, as well as Admiral Horthy, the regent of Hungary, or his son, whichever they could get first. These missions will be covered later in future episodes on Forgotten History.
We hope you enjoyed this segment of Forgotten History. Please click like and subscribe for free. And please stay tuned and be engaged and informed. Send us comments if you have questions or even show ideas, and we will respond to all requests and comments as soon as we can. Thank you.